dear audience, my name is Rodica Verbeniuc, and I'm very delighted and honored to have this possibility to present Moldova's opportunities on trade and investment, and as it was called by the FDI magazine in 2019, is the hidden gem for investments. But before going into reasons why makes Moldova to be emerging destination for the partnership, a couple of words about Moldovan Investment Agency. It's the only governmental institution mandated to implement the economic policies in the mandated field. So we are responsible for quite a broad mandate. We are responsible for investment, attraction, assistance, and aftercare. We are supporting and facilitated our exporters and their access to the new markets and products facilitation. But also we are responsible for the country brand promotion and promote Moldova as a tourism destination. Nevertheless, economic diplomacy, it's our channel, very relevant one that counts 34 diplomatic missions abroad, where our economic attaché trade councils are interacting with us and are delivering the message and the information about Moldova overseas. Our agency is also part of the Economic Council under the Prime Minister of Moldova, which role is to raise the voice of investors at the highest table and put their problems and issues in the agenda of the government, and this way to contribute to the resolution and facilitation of the business in Moldova. So why Moldova? Because Moldova, yes, it's a small but European country, very strategically, geographically positioned. It has a population amounted to 3.5 million, and is estimated that 1 million is working abroad. The basic language, the state language, is Romanian language, but we are bilingual. We are speaking also Russian, and very popular is English, French, Spanish, and German, and also Turkish language. The employment rate, according to the National Bank of Statistics from 2019, it's 40.1%. The inflation rate, it's 4.23%, and the GDP per capita, it's amounted to $5,563 per capita, according to the data of 2019. The Republic of Moldova is really a bridge between West and East, and due to promotion of open economic policy that the government has launched by efforts back in 10 years ago, Moldova really becomes a very hub that offers the access to the companies operating in Moldova to access to a market of over 1 billion consumers. The Republic of Moldova has signed the free trade agreements with 43 countries in the world. It's DCFTA, CIS country with ex-Soviet Union countries, Guam, CEFTA, and Turkey. But one of the most important trade agreements that had a huge and radical impact on the balanced trade of Moldova was the trade agreement signed back in 2014 with the European Union. It is called DCFTA, and it allowed the free movement of labor, the lower taxes, reduction of technical and non-tariff barriers, and very important, harmonization of the Moldovan legislation with the EU legislation, which led to an increased standards and quality of its products, and, as I said, had a huge impact on the trade balance of Moldova. Also, Moldova is in negotiation on the signing agreement with China, as well as the initiative in this regard with Egypt. Moldova is part of the World Trade Organization from 2001, and very important to be mentioned that agreements on mutual promotion and protection of investment we have signed with 34 countries in the world. Moldova's average gross salary has a slow pace of growth over the years. You can see that in 2020, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, the average is 390 euro. And this grow throughout the last 8 years. It's not really very significant, being a very competitive, offering a very competitive, affordable, skilled, educated labor force. Again, Moldova is very affordable for living and operating. It can be interesting from the consumer prices, rental prices, utility costs, not only for the big investors, but also for a small and medium company that want to trade or relocate their business in Moldova. The rental price, it's between 2 and 4 euro per square meter, and in 3 economic zones, this amount is even less. If compares the capital, if compares the consumer prices by the capitals in Chisinau, it's more affordable than Budapest by 21%, or by Bucharest and Krakow from Poland by 17%. How looks Moldova in the international ratings? According to the Moody's International Agency, the Republic of Moldova is valued as a stable economy for the past 3 years. According to the Global Economic Freedom Index for 2021, Moldova is on the 85th place out of 172 countries, exceeding countries such as Greece, Russia, Federation, and Ukraine. According to the Doing Business 2020 report, Moldova is ranked on the position 48 out of 190 economies analyzed. And according to the Global Competitiveness Index for 2019, Moldova is ranked on the 89th position out 141 economies analyzed, being remarked in 2017 as the country with the strongest evolution in the Eurasian region. Looking a little bit about the progress that Moldova is making throughout the years, it is worth to mention that Moldova is part of 42 countries which have improved 3 or more parameters in the period of 2018-19. In particular, starting a business in Moldova, it has an index best in class. It's only 13, because in Moldova, it is enough 1 day and 3 procedures to start and register a business. Also, other KPIs very important is well enough stay in the paying taxes and trading across the borders. Having improved these parameters, Moldova is outperforming the neighbors, such neighbors like Ukraine, Romania, but also a couple of developed EU members like Croatia, Hungary, Greece, or Bulgaria. The Moldovan trade structure in terms of exports, of course, for 2020, because of the pandemic situation, was affected, and it was decreased by 10%. But still, you can see the majority, the highest value of the export of Moldova goes to the European Union countries. It's over 66%. While the exports directed to the community of independent states, it's over 15%, and more and more grow the percentage of the exports going to the other countries. If to talk about the Moldovan trade, top trade partners for exports, Romania remained to be the strategic partner of Moldova for the European integration, but also as a trade partner, being classified on the #1 position in the top 10, being followed by Germany, Russia, Italy, Turkey, Poland, and so on. The Moldovan import structure, it's also well balanced. We can see that 45% of the total imports comes from the European Union markets. The percentage from the CIS countries, it's 24%. And from the other countries, it's 30%. And this is the first time in 2020, the Moldova registered such a big amount of percentage for the imports already coming from other markets than only the previous two mentioned. The top 10 of strategic partners for imports in 2020, it is China, and this is the first time when China is occupying this position, being followed by the Romania, Russian Federation, Ukraine, Germany, Turkey, Italy, Poland, France, and Belarus. A couple of words about the foreign direct investments. In terms of sources of FDI, if to look to 2019, again here, the majority of shares of the investment are coming from the EU market, which percentage is higher than 81%. Investors from the CIS countries accounted for 6% of the total volume of investments, while those from other countries have investment of only 12%. What is important to be mentioned that the net foreign capital inflows in the form of FDI in the Republic of Moldova in the relation of the GDP is still very, very low, so it's enough place for investment here, despite the fact that throughout the last 3 years, the FDI net inflows is growing. You can see by 2019, it's a growth over 225%. What are the top category of the goods from which are invested, to which are injected the investment? On the first position, 29% is the financial and insurance activities. On the second place, it's wholesale and retail trade, repair and motor vehicles. And on the third place, it's manufacturing industry, where is located automotive and fashion sectors. The top 10 source country for investment are Cyprus and Netherlands. They are leading in the top because they're very mild and a lot of facilities in the registration as a fiscal system by these countries. Many international foreign companies are registered in these two countries. Doesn't mean that they are not coming originally from other countries. So this top is followed by Romania, France, UK, Belarus, Russia, Italy, Germany, and Hungary. Moldova has a very mild fiscal system. The corporate income tax, it's only 12%. Value-added tax, it's 20%, while special value-added tax is applied for different sectors. Rodica, it's 15%. Agri-food sector, 8%. 6% for the sector of natural gases. And the social insurance contribution, it's starting with this year, it's 24%, and it was a little bit increased due to the impact of the pandemic. During last couple of years, Moldova made a huge reform in entrepreneurship to influence, to optimize the business and investment climate in Moldova. The first one was the regulatory reform, when it was dramatically reduced the number of permissive documents, license, certifications, and permissions. That was dropped from 400 to 151, and today 131 documents of this one are offered online, because Moldova launched the one-stop shop, which is a digital service solution, and this is the way that all the entrepreneurs can access and can obtain all the needed documents, permissive acts via online. And also financial improvement on the financial reporting reform, since 5 previous reports were consolidated in one version, and it's a unique reporting platform with one authority also. Another important reform was done on the state control. First of all, it was dramatically reduced, half reduced of the institution of control functions. Today there are only 14 such control bodies, and they have advisory role for the first 3 years. Are not applying punishments, and they are coming just to guide and advise the business. Moldova also, in order to be attracted in terms of investment and partnership, has proposed a couple of models for investors for the production activities aimed for exports. We have the free economic zones. There are 7 economic zones in the country that are distributed harmoniously on the whole territory of Moldova. They are economically separated, are part of the customs territory of Moldova, which allow certain types of activity for domestic and foreign companies. So there are 7 economic zones and 34 sub-zones that are offering bulk of facilities. First of all, it's zero VAT and excise duties. The corporate income tax, it's diminished. It's not 12, it's only 6%. And the country, the government is offering 10 years state warranty in case of change of legislation, which is very important for investors' protection rights, especially in the context of always instability and uncertainty of political situation. While investing $1 and $5 million in the free economic zone in the Moldovan economy, then it's income tax exception for respectively 3 and 5 years. Moldova has identified, according to its national strategy for investment attraction and export promotion, a couple of important, strategically important sectors where Moldova do see potential to grow for partnership and investment. It's agri-food, automotive electronics, ICT BPO, fashion, tourism, and infrastructure. The ICT sector, it's one of the most progressively developing in our country, is the third sector of the national economy with the fastest growth rate. It generates 40–50% growth 3 years in a row, and is contributing to 7% of the country GDP. It is not by case that last year this sector has overpassed in the revenue, outperformed the traditional sector as agri-food of Moldova. Moldova is very well connected in terms of mobile and fiber optic infrastructure. We have 98% of coverage both in mobile communication, 4G networks, and fiber optic. But also Moldova is in top 5. Global top 5 countries by the accessibility of gigabit internet, after Singapore, South Korea, Malta, and Monaco being very affordable, offering a very affordable internet. Considering this as a top priority sector for us, the government has developed and applied a special strategical policy framework. We have a law on IT parks and IT visa. It was launched this new model for the business development, which is called Moldova IT Park, that is offering a flat tax system. It's only a singular tax system of 7% of sales income registered monthly, that is incorporated all the possible taxes that any resident of the park should pay. That's why nowadays we have over almost 700 actually of residents which were acquired during these 3 years. 145 of them are foreign companies coming from 34 countries from the world, and 2 of them are coming from Silicon Valley. And this is a very, it's a very highly rapidly growing sector with a lot of people employed, IT professional, the number of IT professional employed is overseeing 11,000. And the approximately 2 billion Moldovan lei turnover was provided in the first year of operation. The next sector is the agriculture or agri-food sector, that is considered also a social sector of Moldova. It's contributing 20% into the country GDP. Moldova, the total amount of total export, 45% of the total export is delivered by this sector, and Moldova is exporting in 70+ countries in the world. Majority of the exports consisting from viticulture and wine products, as well as fruits and vegetables. Moldova is a renowned already country for its good and quality wines, being in the first position in the agri-food exports of Moldova, since the wine is considered, it's declared as alimentary product. Moldova is positioned on the 20 position in the world classement as a wine producer, and it's number 6 in Europe by the wine surface. We have 199 wineries. Out of them, 24 out of them are offering also touristic services. They are touristic seats, and 2 of them are registered even in the Guinness Book by the number of bottles preserved in these wineries. For instance, the second winery, Krikova, very well known. It's an underground actually city over having over 70 kilometers galleries. Another sector is the fashion industry, combining textile, apparel, footwear, and leather industry. Over 95% of the export coming from this sector is going to the EU countries. The specific of Moldova is that we are very good in the fast fashion, since we can take and execute the orders on average within 2 weeks. And these orders can be delivered and can to any destination from EU or CIS markets can be reached in 2 truck days. Moldova has a skilled labor force in this domain, since as a traditional sector for Moldova. We are making in Moldova already brands like Burberry, Moncler, Nike, Zara, Max Mara. And also Moldova is starting to win more and more position by its own production under own brand, that during last couple of years, over 100 of Moldovan local fashion brands emerged, starting to be part of the domestic growth. And these brands, what is very important, are focused for sustainable fashion, respecting the human rights, and oriented to eco ways of producing. Not the last one, it's automotive and machine building sector that is contributing by 15.2% to the country GDP. The major global players are already present in Moldova, like Draxelmaier Automotive, Gebayer & Griller, Fujikura Automotive, that after opening the first plant back in 2018, already are having opened the second, the fourth plant, being oriented to upgrade the production and to grow from the assemblation of cable and wiring harnesses to some more complicated elements. Last year, during the last 2 years, for instance, the R&D sector was providing quite great results, and combining with electronic sectors, already started to provide products that are exported in over 150 countries in the world. So if to put in one proposition, in one unique selling proposition of Moldova, why? Because it's located strategically as geographical position very well strategically, is just to take the advantage to come in and to benefit from this being a bridge for export from west and the east. Also, Moldova has an advanced IT infrastructure, competitive costs, has a multilingual population at affordable labor prices, forces. It's a very digital. A lot of public services are already digitalized, and Moldova has its own strategy to be implemented in upcoming years for the digitalization as well as public services, as the integration to the e-commerce infrastructure. Also, Moldova has competitive operational costs and a very attractive fiscal system. So today we are launching a promise and the invitation to be part from the list of over 10,000 foreign companies that are present in Moldova out of 60 countries. And Moldova is making a very honest invitation to you for partnership, for trade, for investment, to grow the business here in Moldova. I do hope that I will be able to answer to many questions that you have. This presentation can be shared, can be sent to you for the ones who are interested. The agency team is at your service to undertake of records to provide to the all sectorial and detailed information that may be raised to your attention during my presentation. And thank you for your attention. And now I'm ready to undertake the questions, if any.